7 years podcast anniversary special for the underdogs, the founders, the CEOs, the coaches, the speakers, single moms, and single dads around the world. This one is for you, my friend. 7 years of the Carlos Inspire Show podcast, professionally doing on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere. 25 years interviewing CEOs and entrepreneurs online. From the early days of MySpace, when nobody even knew what this was going to become. And 36 years since I started interviewing business owners on the streets of Brazil selling bread. When I was 7 years old, selling bread, door to door, business to business, looking people in the eyes and asking them, what do you do? How did you build that? What would you do to make it even better knowing what you know now? What would you avoid doing it to achieve success faster? What keeps you going? I didn't know I was interviewing. I just knew I was curious back then. 7 years of this podcast, 25 years online, 36 years of conversations that started on the streets with a kid who had nothing and wanted to understand everything. This episode, my friends, is unlike anything I ever made. This is not for everyone. This is for the underdogs, the founders, the CEOs who failed, the coaches, the authors, the speakers, and marketers who quit. The ones who've been abandoned and betrayed. The ones without a father. The ones without money. The ones without a coach, a mentor, a safe home to go back to. This one is for you. Quick note before we go deep, if you are a speaker or a coach who wants to stop doing free gigs and start landing 5 and 6 figure keynotes, go to getonmorestages.com. We will show you the exact frameworks I use to build a 7-figure speaking business from zero. And if you are already earning real money, the question is, are you keeping it? Go to disruptorscode.com. That's where we show entrepreneurs how to protect their wealth with tax-free growth strategies, wills, trusts, and legacy planning. So you build something that lasts long after you are no longer here. Something that the governments won't take it from you or your family. Links are all below in the show notes. Now, let's get into it. I want to take you back. I'm 6.5 years old. My father was killed in a car explosion. I was 3 months old. My stepfather was murdered. I was physically and mentally abused by the people who were supposed to protect me. At 6.5, I thought about ending my life. 6.5. And then something shifted. A miracle for some of the ones of you who have seen me speaking on stages in the past 20 plus years around the world. I call the whispers from God. Right before I was about to end my life. At that kitchen in that dark, rainy day. I heard the whispers. And he said, hey, kid, there are other kids that are being abused physically and mentally. 7 days a week, 30 days per month. 365 days a year. At least you're only being abused physically and mentally 4 days per week. And God also told me your future doesn't have to equal your past unless you carry on the stories with you. I decided to drop that knife. And I made a decision that day. I decided to believe in myself just a little bit more than what I did yesterday. That's it. That was the whole strategy. Less is more. You heard myself and many other legends talk about that before. By 7, you already know. Some of you guys that know me for a while. I was selling that bread on the streets. By the time that I was a teenager, I was interviewing business owners while I was selling them. By the time that the internet existed, I took those conversations online. Who here remembers MySpace, early 2000s, late 90s, forums, podcasts, whatever people would listen? My past does not equal my future unless I carry the old story with me everywhere I go. So I put it down and I started building something. Over 36 years of conversations. I had the honor of sitting with some of the most extraordinary humans being on the planet. One of the greatest decisions that I did as a kid when I didn't have anything. Learn from others is smarter than me. Journaling those conversations and those questions on how to do things better, how to become the best in their field. I don't care if they were a butcher, if they work as a banker, if they sold clothing, if they run a church, if they were married for 50, 60 years. I want to understand what made them great at what they do. What would they avoid? What would they do different? I want you to meet today 4 of them. I have 4 short clips that I've been taking over the last 7 years. I wish I could go back to the streets where I grew up in Brazil before I came to US when I was 18. I really wish. I'll leave that story for another day. Now, the first clip I wanted to share with you, this one cracks me up every single time. This is my friend, my brother, a man who punched people in the face for a living and made the world love him for it. This is the UFC world champion, the guy who pretty much invented the UFC in the 90s. This is a man who fought some of the most dangerous humans on the planet and somehow end up on my little show. And when I introduced him, let me just say, I got a little carried away. The younger Carlos, but hey, you got to put it out there. So I want you guys to take a look at this. If you guys are listening to me now, I know many of you are listening to me on your commute as you are in the gym over the years. But I want you guys to go into my YouTube channel at Carlos Inspires. See, on YouTube, I have in the plural, inspires. For Instagram and TikTok, is just inspire, Carlos Inspire. But I want you guys to go on YouTube. I'll put all the links in the description below so you guys can see the visual I'm about to share myself. The younger Carlos that don't give a damn. Just go for it, test new things. Take a look at this. This is me introducing the legendary Frank Shamrock. I want you guys to go on. YouTube muted this clip on me. But honestly, go watch the full episode. The link in the description. What Frank says here in this interview will change how you think about winning. I'm not going to let a copyright flag stop you from hearing it. Frank taught me something that they are carried ever since. Champions, they are not built in the spotlight. They are built in the dark when nobody's watching, when nobody believes in you. That's where the real work happens. The next clip, this one is personal. This one is really personal. When I was a child, the darkest nights of my life, when I had nothing, when I was hopeless, when I heard my mother being abused behind closed doors, and I was so little, and I wanted to do something and I couldn't. That's why I started thinking about ending it all. It was music that reached me through those darkest times, many times, in addition to those whispers. I didn't know who made it. I just knew when I heard it at first, something inside me held on. Something inside me decided to stay. I decided to translate those words from English to Portuguese. That music was Pink Floyd. Years later, decades later, I find myself on the stage. I found myself getting to know that person. I found myself sitting across from a member of that band who played for them for 20 plus years. I found myself calling him a friend, somebody that I can call, and who calls me. His name is Scott Page. Scott has no idea before that episode that the music he played kept a hopeless kid in Brazil from giving up on his life. He never knew that until he met me. He was just playing his saxophone. He was just doing his art. And that art saved a life, my life. Listen to the episode on Apple or Spotify or watch on YouTube. Highly recommend you guys watching it too. Drop a like and a follow. All links below in the description. Scott Page, everybody. Listen to this intro. Same thing happened here, everybody. Muted by YouTube on my own channel. And I get it. It's Pink Floyd. But that's exactly why I need you to go watch the full episode. The link is below in the description. Because what Scott shares about music, life, and legacy, you need to hear it in full. No interruptions. This is one of those episodes where I share with him the stories, what his music did to save me as a kid growing up in Brazil. Man, it's the younger Carlos, just a character. Scott Page, man, Pink Floyd, and a kid from the streets of Brazil who almost did not make it. Sometimes the art you create reaches someone you never meet in a moment you will never know about, and it changes everything. Never underestimate what you put into the world, my friend. For some of you guys that think, oh, it's too many podcasters out there. Why starting one now? I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm whatever. Just do it. You never know the amazing friendships, clients, opportunities, experiences that you create and that you will do by doing it. That's what you love. If you love interviewing, connecting, talking to people, interviewing people, sharing, masterminding, podcasting, It's one of the greatest things I ever done in my life. It pays me the least amount of money of everything that I do. But for me, it's a passion. The next guest, you guys know Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Almost everybody does, right? But let me ask you something. Did you ever wonder about the woman behind the empire? The woman who mentored him, the woman who built the literary and financial architecture behind one of the most influential brands in personal finance history. Her name is Sharon Lechter. And I call her the rich mom behind Rich Dad. Maybe we should write that book. Sharon is a legendary speaker, entrepreneur, a best-selling author, and a force of nature. But the clip I wanted to share with you guys today, it's about a different book. A book that Napoleon Hill wrote, but never published in his lifetime while he was alive. A book called Outwitting the Devil, one of my favorite books of all time. In addition to my book, Work Like an Immigrant. What a great play. Every sale of my book, Work Like an Immigrant, is donated to help little kids and people facing hunger on the streets. But in this book, Napoleon Hill interviews the devil. Literally, he sits down with the devil and he strikes his most clever tricks, the psychological traps, the manipulation tactics, the ways the devil keeps human beings stuck, afraid, and small. Sharon Lechter was the editor of that book. She brought it to life with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. She gave it to the world. And when she talks about it, you need to hear it. So check it out. This one got muted too. Go figure. But Sharon Lechter talking about outwitting the devil. Napoleon Hill literally interviewing the devil. You are not going to want to miss that. Full episode link is right below this video and this audio. Go there after this. Sharon Lechter, ladies and gentlemen, the rich mom behind the rich dad. You guys can listen to all these episodes by going to carlosinspireshow.com on Apple, Spotify, Alexa, Audible, everywhere around the world. You guys can go to YouTube on my YouTube channel at Carlos Inspires. All links under the description. Incredible. The rich mom behind Rich Dad. And the woman who gave Napoleon Hill's most powerful and most dangerous work to the world. It's incredible how he wrote this in the early 1900s. Never published. And 100 years later, Sharon, along with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, shout out to my brother Don Green, who runs the foundation. If you haven't read Outwitting the Devil, go get it. Go listen. And after you finish this episode, it will change how you see every decision you ever made. And the final clip, this one. I was emotional putting this show together, man. This one, he's no longer here in the planet. He passed away a few years ago. I've been doing this for 36 years. I sat with world champions, rock legends, billionaires, authors, survivors, visionaries, people from all walks of life. And if I had to point to one person, one human, who made me understand what it truly means to live a life of impact, it would be this man. Frank Shankwitz. Rest in peace, my friend, my mentor, my brother, the co founder of Make a Wish Foundation. Frankie used to call me on random Tuesday mornings just to check in. Not because he had a reason, not because he needed something, just because he cared. I had the honor to share many, many years, stages alongside him, promoting his book and his movie, Wishman. Highly recommend. In this clip I'm about to share, Frank tells a story of a little boy with a clock taking on his life. I want you to listen to every single word. Frank Shankwitz, ladies and gentlemen. This one here is the most important one. Also got muted. Frank Shankwitz, the founder of Make a Wish Foundation. I could fight the algorithm all day, or I could just tell you, go watch this man tell his story in full on my episode. You can go to YouTube, links under the description, or go listen. I highly recommend you guys watch it. It will be one of the best 45 minutes you spend this year. Listen to this legendary man sharing the story of this little boy that had a time to himself. Even a movie was made after Frank Shankwitz called Wishman. You will want to watch and read that book. It's Frank Shankwitz, ladies and gentlemen. You need to know something about this man, because I think about it all the time. Frank Shankwitz, he went on to grant not 100 wishes, not 1,000, not 10,000. Hear me closely. 500,000 wishes. 500,000 children with a clock ticking onto their lives got to experience joy, wonder, and magic because of this man. 500,000 little kids who were running out of time were giving a moment of pure happiness because Frank decided to do something. When he got off work as a detective, call his friends, got those yellow pages, and start calling people to donating so they could grant the wishes of those little kids. Because he didn't just feel the feeling, he built the foundation. Frank, you'll never be forgotten. And this show will always carry your legacy forward, my brother. 36 years. Street corners in Brazil. MySpace, Facebook, YouTube back in 2005 and 6. Instagram, podcasts, prisons, spoke in many prisons, shelters, Oscar events in Los Angeles, riding a bicycle to the stage, corporate stages around the world in the hardest times, layoffs, fear, uncertainty, crazy world events, after shootouts, traveling to cities to speak life into others that an eye for an eye only makes the entire world blind. And I always say the same thing wherever I go. I will never, ever take you to a place that I haven't been before. Not a quote, not a theory, not something I read in a book. I live it. I survived it. And if you are here right now, and if you are in dark right now, if you feel like nobody sees you, nobody's answering the call back, nobody believes in you, nobody's coming to save you, I need you to hear me right now. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are the underdog. And the underdog is the most dangerous person in any room because they have nothing to lose and everything to fight for. To many of my students that we talk about this before they go on the stage is never to be afraid if you have to go after a big timer, after a legend, after whoever. The pressure is on them. You guys know what I'm talking about. And you know it, my friends. Your past does not equal your future unless you carry on with you. So put it down today, not forever, not perfectly, just for today. And believe in yourself. Just a little bit more than what you did yesterday. That's how a 7-year-old kid from the streets of Brazil, where the struggles were real, who almost didn't make it past age 6.5, end up right here talking to you 36 years later, against all odds. And that's how you are going to build your legacy. 7 years of this podcast, 25 years online, 36 years of conversations that started on the streets, thousands and thousands of rejections. And every single dollar the shows earn goes to helping others facing hunger. That's why your like, your comment, your follow, your share, tagging others, I highly appreciate it. You guys know, I can thank you guys enough. I pretty much thank every single episode. This is not a marketing line. That is the mission. Always has been. I wanted to give a massive shout out to our team, our families, every follower, every subscriber, every person who has been here since day zero. Since before this was anything, you believed in us before there was anything to believe in. That means everything. If you are a founder with an incredible story and you wanted to share how you help others, reach out. We do sponsor episodes from time to time. Tell us your story. Tell us how you serve people, how you help others. If you become selected, that is the standard. And I want you to know, who should I interview next? Whatever you guys are watching this now or listening to, drop in the comments below. Tell me on social media. Let us build this together. You are in the tribe, a global tribe of underdogs, builders, survivors, and dreamers. Do your part. Listen, follow, share, tag someone who needs to hear this today. Find us everywhere. CarlosInspireShow.com. On Apple, on Spotify, Audible, Google, everywhere. iHeart Show, iHeart Radio, Instagram and TikTok at Carlos Inspire, Inspire in the singular. On YouTube at Carlos Inspires in the plural. This is Carlos Cicada, aka Carlos Inspire. And we are just getting started because the days that breaks us are truly the days that makes us. And never forget that life is all about the mission, never the commission. Thank you.